put your fingers up the genitals of a 5-year-old girl. So all day long, I was doing research, you guys. Research, I tell you. Remember how I told you I was going to try to do something where I exposed Tati Westbrook? And I was like looking, and I've been doing this for 2 days straight now. 2 days, thinking I would find something. So initially I found a lot of stuff on her background, right, you guys? So when I started digging into her background, and I have looked all over the place, you guys, everywhere, because part of what I do is I like to look into people that sell snake oil to see if they have stuff in their background that would make them less than honorable, something that might indicate that they are, you know, there's something legal going on, they have a criminal background, they have a criminal history, they owe money, they have like a reputation for doing all these things. And so I started digging in, and, you know, I think I told you guys last week that I found out like she's had a pretty consistent reputation of like fooling people into believing that she's very trustworthy, but then she does a lot of very untrustworthy things. And so I started like looking into her background. I think I found, you know, some business issues. I found like some unemployment stuff where she had a judgment for not paying off her unemployment. A bunch of like tax liens, some business judgments, actually several tax liens, which some of the people that had brought up whether or not, you know, she's reporting stuff to the FTC or if she's reporting stuff to the IRS. She's got several issues dating all the way back to like mid 2000s. So, and then as recently, I think as like 2014 or 2015. So, and a lot of times with these audits, it takes several years for them to figure out like if you owe the IRS money. So even if there's stuff out that's current, it's not necessarily like everything, if that makes sense. They have more than a few tax liens, yeah. But this is the funny thing, you guys. So I use several different searches when I look through things, and I do email searches, I do business searches, I do all of this as a part of my work. But it was funny. I initially pulled up their information on a site called Truth Finder, which is just a regular, like, it's a very basic background check. It doesn't have everything, and it really is very basic. It'll pull up some stuff, but you can actually go state to state and try to pull stuff up as well. So I pulled it up, you guys, and like I found all of those tax liens. Well, lo and behold, a couple days ago, yesterday, in fact, I went back onto Truth Finder and I was going to just recheck and take a screenshot to make sure that I had everything. So I just, you know, it's not like I'm going to release all the information because it's not like I'm not in the practice of like outing what the amounts are and for what years and all of that kind of stuff. But I just wanted like evidence that it was there. And I went to search her name and the search was still there because I have an account, but she had scrubbed her name off of Truth Finder. So it's literally insane because she knew that people had started getting onto her and sort of were starting to poke into her background after everything that happened with James Charles. And I've never seen this happen before. I've never seen this happen. I mean, hell, you can go on to one of these sites and you can pull dozens of celebrities if you wanted to. I mean, I was able to pull Janelle Evens from Teen Mom 2. You know, there's some celebrities might be more private, but so much of that stuff is public record, and you can't, you know, just because you're a celebrity, you can't be like, oh, I'm not going to have public records out. Public record is public record. So, you know, it's just, it was completely gone, completely scrubbed from their website, gone. Like she did not exist. And then when you go to her mother's page or her sister's pages, who are all still there, they're all like, she doesn't exist as a part of their family anymore. It's crazy. I've never seen anything like that happen. Someone from Twitter actually reached out to me and said this isn't the first time she's scrubbed accounts and tried to hide stuff when people started poking around in her past. She was only able to clean off one of the sites because not all of the sites have been scrubbed, and so the information is still out there. Plus, you can still go on to the different databases within each of the states to find the information. Again, all of this is public record, so it's not like she can hide all of it. If it's all there if you wanted to find. Well, the person contacted me so that like her mom and her have a history of doing this, and I was like, huh, that's interesting. And so then I started playing around even more and digging through more and more information, going through marriage records and through birth certificates. I couldn't even find her birth certificate, which is weird. Her parents got married in 1976, and then they had her sister, and they had in 1978. And then, so her sister's the same age as me. Then they had Tati in 1982. And then they had her twin sisters, I don't know, a couple years later. I think you might have to pay to have it scrubbed. I'm not sure. It's not easy to get that kind of stuff. It's not easy to get that stuff taken off. I'm wondering if she worked with an attorney. I don't really know. But, so I'm like digging through. And it's crazy, you guys. Like, there's like 0 records of her father, like 0 records. So then I start going on and I'm like getting into this conspiracy thinking like her dad is dead, or like, why doesn't her dad have a job, or her dad's in the mafia. So then I start digging through addresses and phone numbers and email addresses and doing all of these searches and going through businesses and looking at all this different stuff to try to like connect some dots, because there's just so much missing information from the time that she's like born until the time like she becomes an adult. And there's all this stuff missing in terms of like her dad's employment and like where they're living and what they're doing and where they're going to school. And, it's odd. So I was able to find like her mom says she's a talent agency, but I did find Tati's old talent portfolio. So her mom had put together a bunch of photos of Tati, and she was supposed to be like a model, and she was available for shows and modeling and auditions, and which was kind of funny. And her face was, oh my God, you guys, they were pretty funny. So I found her old modeling photos, and then I found her sisters all had the same type of stuff, and I realized that her mom wasn't really a talent agent. She was mostly just like an agent for her kids. I don't think she was really all that successful, because I noticed she went through a number of different businesses over a number of different years. And then they moved around a lot, like when they were growing up. She touts that her daughter, one of her touts is that her mom's this like talent agent. But all I could really find was that she's an agent for her and her sisters, and then a couple of other clients who I was able to find their web pages. I did find that her mom completed 2 Scientology courses in 1999 and 2000. So then I start still trying to look for her dad, and I can't find anything, you guys, nothing. And I find a video where she bought her dad a house this year. The weird thing is that her dad doesn't have any work history, like no work history. So I feel like there's a story here with her dad, and I'm not sure what it is. We're going to have to keep looking there. And then there's something with her mom too, and I'm just going to have to keep digging. As I was digging around on the mother's business, I found an address of where her business had previously been located. I looked through the property's ownership, and do you know who owned the property around the same time that she was running her talent agency? Wade Robinson's mother. The Los Angeles court system isn't the easiest because you have to pay for everything, but I did so many searches and I didn't really find anything. I'll keep digging and keep looking on the Tati stuff, but I don't want to spend, like, I've wasted 2 days now trying to find something. And the source that told me to do the digging, they were like pointing me in different directions. And once I would think for a second I was onto something, and then it would literally go dead, and then I would end up on all these different rabbit holes and looking at all these different people that they were connected to. Her husband does have drug convictions on his record from the 1980s and 90s, some like crimes related to drugs, but that was in the 89, 90. He hasn't, and so that's like what, almost 30 years ago. So long story short, my ever-changing evolution or expose of Tati is really going not very much anywhere. It's gonna take me more time to find anything at this point. I'm gonna still try to look into what's going on with these vitamins and the business. I feel like that might answer some of the questions. Really ridiculous in all of this is I was doing research about this before we went online because I wanted to know who she is. Her name is frickin' Tanya. Her name is Tanya Krevens. Tanya Krevens. How interesting is that? She's not Tati. She's not Tatiana. She's Tanya Krevens from Washington. Her husband's name is James Westbrook, and he has got a rap sheet like you wouldn't want to believe. And, this is the problem with being the job that I have is I end up doing, background checks, and I end up looking into criminal records, and I end up looking at financial records, and I start looking into these people, and I'm like, holy crap, these people are not good people. And her name is not Tatiana, and she's not Tati. She's freaking Tanya. She's a failed actress. She was an actress in the 1990s and the 2000s and Unsolved Mysteries and some video games, and that didn't work out. So then she decided to become a beauty blogger. And listen, I'm not against beauty bloggers, but it explains her fake tears. It explains all of this bull crap she pulled on him. And all of her, I'm just saying, like, I'm not a drama channel. I'm not Dawn. I'm just, what I am saying is that, like, her name is Tanya. She's an average chick from Washington who's married to a guy that has a criminal background. While it's years ago, he still has a felony, and they have lots and stuff on their record. And, you just have to remember that even though people are online and these have big platforms, they're still people. They still have their own problems, and they still have their own baggage. And just because Tati looks polished on TV and looks polished on YouTube, she's still Tanya Krevens. And I got pulled into this article because I hate people that push pseudoscience, and Tati is very much into pseudoscience. Tati is obsessed with vitamins that she thinks that, are going to help your hair grow. And, her vitamins contain mineral things in them that will impact birth control. Her vitamin line hasn't been doing that well. And I think part of that is because she went outside of her realm in beauty and decided that she was going to be a vitamin seller. She doesn't wear antiperspirant because she thinks aluminum will cause cancer. I mean, these are all lies. These aren't real. I would love to have coffee with all of you guys. I haven't had to stop talking about literally any celebrities ever, period. Not one. Even with cease and desist letters, Tati Westbrook leads the pack with 3 cease and desist letters to Katie Paulson and Without a Crystal Ball. To that I say, thanks Tati, I'm still running my channel and writing content. Bye guys.
I feel like I put my makeup on better than Tati, for Christ's sake. Like, I don't look like an Oompa Loompa. You trust your makeup from someone who doesn't even know how to match her foundation to her skin. Can I show you a secret? Look. I don't have any foundation on my neck, and it matches because I'm wearing the right shade.
Bye, everyone.